Hello everyone. I'm so excited to get into this Key of Transfiguration in watercolor, and before we get going, I do want to apologize for the previous 2 episodes. I've had a recent upgrade on my smartphone, and for some reason it has become very uncooperative. When I try to shoot in landscape with my ring light here, then it keeps swinging it back to portrait, and it's been a frustration. And the light quality just wasn't right. So I hope this video looks a little bit better. I did spend like half an hour setting up my camera in the hope that it will improve. I don't know what they changed on the recent upgrade, but it went from perfectly working to super glarish, and it was super frustrating to me that you couldn't see anything that I'm doing on this paper. So now that I'm actually going to start to paint, I honestly hope that you guys can see nicely and we can focus in. So let's just call in a beautiful celestial support of grace and ease. Thank you for the technology that is cooperating and helping us to produce the work that we are looking to produce. So with that said, let's activate a candle of hope and creativity for the world. May all beings benefit. Right, now let's concentrate on our beautiful painting. This is where we are sort of headed, and my strategy from the beginning was to just mask the key and the butterfly so that I can focus entirely on the environment and not so much on the key right now. So the masking fluid is going to help me protect my paper while I focus on the background. Right. Now that I've got that going, I want to basically start with this background. There's a definite cooler side to the picture. So for that, I'm going to need blues and grays and greens. And then we have the left side of the painting that's definitely a lot lighter. That might be our light source. It is morning probably. This type of light is usually in the morning. So I'm going to need some yellows and I'm going to need some blues, and then we'll take it from there. So my strategy going forward is going to be to pretty much try and get this entire background in, and then we'll start building up our contrast. Remember, with watercolor, we work from our lightest levels to our darkest levels. We can only go darker in watercolor. You can't go lighter again unless you lift color or you add zinc mixing white to your mixture, but that's basically not recommended. We basically use the white of the paper as watercolorists to give us that luminosity and brightness, and as we add consecutive layers on top of that, it automatically deepens and becomes darker. So that is going to be my strategy going forward. I'm going to fold this paper so that I have less of it in my hand. There's so many beautiful things on my table, and it is so lovely to look at everything while I'm painting. So I don't want to obstruct, but I do need to function, and I need to be able to just, I'm going to place my paper here, and I'm going to ask my crystals to hold it for me. There we go. Then I can see what I'm doing. You can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Let's just use a bigger brush and let's just bless this paper. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to mist my paper before I mix color here. I want the water just to soak in and begin to prepare my paper for some watercolor. I think that should be enough. I need some kitchen towel, water control. It's definitely a different kind of thinking cap that I have to put on when I switch mediums. for a large part of this year, I was really getting back into my watercolor and enjoying it since World Watercolor Month. And I haven't really touched my acrylic paints. And then my acrylic patrons reminded me, hello, don't forget about us. Thanks, Sandra, for reminding me. Yeah, I do have ADHD, and you might know that we can fixate on something and become totally obsessed with it. And I mean, what is not to obsess about watercolor, right? So, being a man of my word, I jumped right back into the acrylics so that I can produce the crow, and it just came in the perfect time of my life personally. So, what a transformative experience that was and still is. And it is time for me to get back into my painting. Right, I'm going to clean this yellow well as that water sinks into the paper. This is Archer's 100% cotton paper, so it can handle a lot of water, and that's why I wanted this sticky tape to seal so that I can get into it. Right, we need a cool greenish lemon yellow. I think I'm going to add more water to that. And this is my lemon yellow. Well, I've got two there. And this is my new number 6 quill. It's just a bit smaller than my very big number 12 or number 10, which I found was way too big for what I do. This is great for big paper, so I'm glad I got the number 6. Right, let's see what that yellow looks like. That feels like we headed in the right direction. Right, I'm going to rinse that out. I want to mix some colors already, so we're ready to go. With the blue, I'm going to use some indigo, which I believe is here. Let's add some water here, so that we are ready with some color. And this first layer is pretty much like a tea consistency. I just want to establish color. I'm gonna jump right into my Payne's Grey. I'm gonna mix a nice grey sort of area as well. Payne's Greys in this corner. And I'm using Payne's Grey here because it's got a blue finish. I am going to add a little bit of my Mars Black to it to deepen it. Yes. Okay. And then we also need like brighter yellows. I'm just going to drop in some color into my cadmium yellow and my olive green. So that's ready to give when I need it to give. Right. Let's get into our lemon yellow. And I'm just going to begin to wash this beautiful morning light into the scene. Nice. So that's basically where our light is going to be. It's also reflecting off of everything here. Beautiful. Let's rinse that out. Take most of the water out because the mixtures that I've got here is already very watery. Yes, I need you to give me a little bit more pigment, please. Okay. How are you guys doing as we are getting into our Halloween season? Beautiful. Just want to talk about these trees so long. So there's vertical structures in the background. Getting into the greens. Beautiful. Ooh. I'm just focusing also that there's not a lot of dams of water forming on my paper. My air conditioner is running, so it might dry a little bit faster on me. Right, now that I've basically got a foundation that's very wet, so this is definitely a wet into wet layer, we can begin to just soak up any puddles of water that might become problematic later. Okay, I think I'm going to start to work into the trees on the left very softly. What, I've got this grey mixture here. Let's bring in this depth here in the front so long. That's not deep at all. Because my paper is so wet, I can basically jump right into my color, because it's going to continue to soften anyway. So it's a bit of Payne's Grey and a bit of Mars Black. Just working on developing this depth. And this movement here. Oh. Nice. Okay. We will definitely do more layers, so don't demand too much of your first layer. I'm gonna jump into this brown and add it to my black mixture. As we begin to just describe this tree, beautiful. And this is where the masking fluid is really now working in my favor, because I don't have to worry about the wings and the key at this stage. I can really just focus on beginning to bringing these shapes. Love the granulation that is happening down here. Here we've got a very bright area, so I'm just going to lift some of that color. Awesomeness. I think I'm going to switch brushes. This is holding too much water for me at the present moment. So this green is like a teal green almost. Let's add some water here. Add a bit of phthalo green to the turquoise, and then I'm going to jump right over to maybe a bit of a red here, just to tone that down. If it will give. Grey that down a bit, that's nice. Okay. Beautiful. Love that. Add a bit more phthalo green, and I'm going to dive into the golden green. Rinse that out. There's a definite strong yellow light over here. I'm gonna go ahead and just bring some of that in. Let that settle. That was a lot of water, Gideon. I think I'm going to lift up a little bit. Gorgeous, okay. I'm going to get a little bit stronger into my black. We can always lift color for these sort of highlights on the stones. This part of the paper is dried. Okay, I think we've gotten to a very nice place. I'm just gonna damp that so that it can flow. I think we've come to a very good starting place and a place where I should probably stop fiddling before I ruin something, because some areas are starting to dry, some areas are very wet. I think we're going to leave it at that for now. What I am going to do, what have I done with all my salt? Oh, here's my salt, my trusty salt, because it just gives us beautiful texture, and there's plenty of sparkle moments sort of around this forest. So I'm going to add some salt sparkling here and there to maybe just talk a little bit about this. Maybe it's fireflies that is flying around. I'm just so happy that I finally got my first layer in, and it just gives us a foundation to build on. So let this dry, and when we come back we'll develop it further. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching, stay tuned and stay creative, and bye bye for now.